Welcome to the bakery. I am your chief baker, and hopefully in 3 days you'll check and I'll still be here. Because if I lose my head, that means Pharaoh got mad at me. If you don't understand that reference, feel free to look it up. You won't regret it. So you're probably wondering what this is, or you've probably already drawn your own conclusion. And you're probably right either way. Yes, I'm a guy sitting in a car sharing my opinion through my camera lens. I'm also a bunch of other things. So why don't I tell you how this got started, and you can decide what you want to do from there. Once upon a time, about December 4th, 2011, I worked at a restaurant called Danny's Porch, and I was a bartender in training. My friend Roger was a bartender also. He had already been there for a while in that position. He called me up because he had a family emergency and he needed somebody to cover his shift. So I did it, and it worked out because it was a slow day and I didn't have to worry about being overwhelmed. Because keep in mind, I was in training still. I knew how to pop tops on beer bottles and I knew how to make margaritas. Couldn't do anything else. So while I'm there and it's slow, I'm looking through what they call the Bar Bible and finding out as much as I possibly can about cocktails, about alcohol, about everything. Because of that, I do some experimentation and I end up coming up with my own cocktail called Bert's Peach Tea. That's what I called it. Yeah, I'm vain. So what? And people come into the restaurant afterwards and I suggested to them, they start asking for it, that sort of thing. Fast forward about a year and I make a big batch of it for homecoming at TSU and people were crazy over it then. Fast forward some more, people just kind of start asking me about it all around. In the meantime, I shot a YouTube promo for it where one of our friends, Skittles, came and rang a doorbell. When the door opened, she goes, "Hey, where's the peach tea?" And that just kind of caught on. So that's what I ended up putting on all the shirts, pens, pencils, everything else. So eventually I just decided to name what that had become. I named it Tea Time 24/7. Didn't know if I was going to make it into a huge company or what. Just like, hey, let's stick a name on it and see what happens. So that's one thing. Separately, my whole life I've been a motor mouth. Always talk. Always telling stories. Always talking about what's happening one way or the other. That's what I do, right? So naturally that leads to things like blogging. And I've had a blog or two in the past. And at one point I wanted to have a blog that was run by Tea Time 24/7. And I wanted to have a name that kind of fit that same theme. So coincidentally, when I was working at that restaurant at Danny's Porch, I did a different type of YouTube promo called Bar Chronicles. And one of my friends, Darian, was at the bar. And the last thing he said on one of the videos was break bread. So I figured I could use that. He was slightly profane when he said it, but I could use it. I'm just going to flip the last word to bro. So break bread, bro, as opposed to what he had before. I'll let you figure that out. So now I got the idea of break bread, bro. And this kind of works two different ways because on the one hand, I want something that's going to sound good for blogging purposes. So in terms of discussion, when you're discussing topics, it's referred to as breaking bread. So that was the idea behind that. But it also, just like I have "where's the peach tea" as a phrase from my peach tea, my mom used to still makes banana bread. And I made sweet potato bread. Came up with that idea on June 27th, 1999. So I figured I could use the phrase for promo the same way I use the phrase "where's the peach tea" for promo. So, and funny thing is, ever since I came up with that, I have yet to sell the banana bread or the sweet potato bread like I wanted to, but there's still time for that. So now we've got Tea Time 24/7 and we've got Break Bread Bro as a blog that operates under it. But I don't write every day, not like I'd like to, because writing takes time to organize, takes time to think out loud and just put everything into a digestible format. And a lot of times by the time I figured out what it is that I wanted to say and I've written it out thoroughly, the moment is past. The topic that everybody's on is gone. What about podcasting? I mean, I've always wanted to be on the radio or have my own TV show or have something like that, right? It would have been great to be on 97.9 or be a guest on the Breakfast Club or Core 94. It doesn't matter. I would have always wanted to have something like that. Why can't I do it myself? No, really, why can't I do it myself? I jumped because there's a bug flying by my ear, by the way, if you're watching the video. So a couple of different people told me, there's an app you can do that on. You can do it on Anchor. So I figure, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I did that, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't look too hard. But I always got to overdo things. I want video too. So if you're watching this, that's what this is. I'm overdoing it. But you put all of that together, and you have me right now sitting in my car, talking to my phone, telling you about what I think, telling you a piece of my life story. But about this, the bakery, the benefit here is you can see everything happen from scratch. So right now it's a camera, and it's me sitting here talking to the phone. And then eventually it'll be me with microphones, me with professional cameras. We'll see how this thing builds up. But yeah, we're here to have a little bit of fun and just talk. I want to be interactive. So if you're not already following Break Bread Bro on Facebook and Twitter, this would be a good time to do that. BreakBreadBro. No underscores, none of that stuff. Just Break Bread Bro on Facebook and on Twitter. And yeah, I'm not too bougie. I follow back. So that's pretty much how that goes. We're going to talk about whatever we talk about. Sometimes it'll be my personal experiences. Sometimes it'll be commentary on the news. Sometimes it'll be about music. And sometimes I have people come in and we can talk about whatever we talk about. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. And I'm going to make sure to keep these things short because I don't have the attention span to listen to somebody talk for 2.5 hours. So I'm not going to ask you to do that. That's pretty much that. So to paraphrase the late great Nate Dogg, hey, break bread every day.